Reselling makes no sense. eBay gurus on YouTube like to tell you to go out, source, list, and sell. Some of your items won't sell, but that's to be expected. Even the most seasoned veterans don't source at 100%. But when you do sell an item, what happens next? Instead of asking, okay, great, how can we do more of this? You're told to go out and find new things to sell. So you're always back at square one, stuck in a never-ending trial and error phase. Why are we constantly changing the variable? Look, we clearly performed a task that worked, and it looks like this. We went out to source an item, A, listed this particular item, B, and it sold, C, success. So the formula is A plus B equals C. Great. But why is the next move to try another item? So now, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pegasus Lounge. If you're new here, my name is Mason T, and I am an importer slash product developer. But more importantly, I've been on all of the major e-commerce marketplaces for over 20 years. eBay, Amazon, Etsy, Newegg, Walmart, you name it, I've seen it. My biggest criticism of what eBay reselling is that there's no success retention whatsoever. Every single time you sell something, you gotta go get more of something else to try to replace it, and then we're back trying it again. So if you're tired of those one-off run-offs, then this is the right place for you, and I am the right person to teach you this because I'm a product developer, and that is specifically what I do. So let's jump into today's video and let me show you what I have for you guys. So today we have the split screen pulled up, and you can already see I have DHGate on the left and eBay on the right. But this is not going to be your average arbitrage type of business video where we talk about getting items from DHGate or Temu and then just moving it onto eBay so simply. First, I want to begin by explaining that the problem with reselling is that from the get-go, you're dealing with an item like branded items and goods that you can't get more of anyways. So it would be much better to just start off with products that you definitely can get a supply and more of, just in case you actually have success the moment that you try out some items. So, okay. So today we have the split screen. Pulled up, and I'll zoom into this more as we get into the lesson. So we have DHGate on the left and then eBay on the right. Now let me explain exactly what's happening. This isn't your average video of how to take items from one market and then sell it on another marketplace. Those videos are missing way too much context in them. I'm going to show you how to do this properly so that you could actually start building a scalable, sustainable business. So in order to do this, I have to first explain a certain concept to you guys. So today's question is, what is the most profitable thing that any established business can do? Not when it's in its beginning stages, it's when it's established. And the answer to that is saving money. So what do I mean by this? Let's suppose we have a company where we're moving 2,000 parcels every single month. We are well established. If we could do something where let's change the packaging a little bit, or let's switch a courier service, or perhaps maybe change a different type of shipping service, right? And we could save about $2 per parcel. Let's say we ship things out at $10 per parcel. Now we're able to ship it out at $8 per parcel. We saved $2, but we do 2,000 units every single month. That's an extra $4,000 back into our pocket. So why do I say that this is the most profitable? Because saving money versus earning money is two completely different things. Earning money requires time, money, effort, expenses, resources in order to do that. On top of this, $4,000 earned is also taxable. $4,000 saved is just pure $4,000. That's liquid gold. So many times when different kind of salesmen out there approach business owners like myself and say, hey, you want to use our service, our item, it could save you so much money. These are things that I heavily consider whether or not they are genuine or full of baloney. Because if I could save money, money saved is a very big deal. It's a lot bigger. Money saved $4,000 versus money earned $4,000. Money saved is much bigger. That's the key takeaway. So we're going to apply that business concept to exactly what we're doing here. And that's what's going to make this video very interesting. So rather than jumping around on this video, I'm just going to explain exactly what the whole concept is, and then I'll perform it. That way, you don't have to click around on the video and you'll want to watch it from beginning to end. Essentially, the strategy is this. We have to establish a successful pipeline before we commit to anything. We have to, dab our toes into the water before we just jump in. Don't just start something. We have to get meaningful data. Now, in the past, when you're doing eBay reselling, you don't have meaningful data. Why? Because the sample size is too small. You're selling 1, you're selling 2, you're selling 5, you're selling 6. It's all right, but it doesn't really tell you anything, right? We need a reasonable sample size. We need 10 pieces, 20 pieces, 30 pieces, 50 pieces in order to really journal down what happened over time, so we know how many units we could move a day, if this item is hot or not, should we pursue it or not. So therefore, we're going to take items that we could easily source from places like Temu, AliExpress, DHGate, and then move it over to eBay. Now, the reason for eBay is because eBay is the most beginner-friendly platform, not Amazon. Amazon requires you to go into FBA if you really want to play, because FBA items have more visibility. Also, the whole ecosystem of Amazon, people are more expectant of dealing with Amazon FBA for their goods because of the reliability in the delivery service. So on eBay, the whole ecosystem is basically everyone is used to that your item is going to be fulfilled by the seller. That's number one. Number two, the ad fees is way more in your control and predictable and budget friendly all at the same time, because on eBay, you pay for the ad only when your item sells. So in the beginning, you could set exactly how much margins you want to give up in order to give this item a running start. And once you have enough sales velocity, once you have that sales history, you're going to get more and more organic traffic to the point where you don't have to pay for that anymore. So we throw down the ad fee in the beginning, and then eventually we don't have to pay that ad anymore. So then when we save money, we make money. The same idea applies to when we're sourcing the product. In the beginning, you're going to see me do a couple of items where you're going to say, wow, the margins on it is not very good. True. I don't care about the margins right now. I'm trying to develop meaningful data. So what I want to do is that I want to source from DHGate, Temu, stuff like that first, and then put it on eBay, try to prove that, okay, this item, I'm able to sell it the way I list it. I'm able to replicate the success that other people are having on this platform. And then I'm going to bring down the price of Temu and DHGate items, AliExpress items, by sourcing them from places like Alibaba or dealing with a sourcing agent afterwards when I start buying more in bulk. But before I do that, I got to prove that this item is worth my time to do. I got to prove that there's actually money to be made. So let's get into this. The first thing I did was just jump on DHGate to just look around. And what I entered on the left side is bulk items wholesale. Whatever, I don't care. I'm just looking for stuff right now. The whole concept of what we do here on this channel is to find an item, develop the item, list it, and sell it. It's a very straightforward way of offering value directly to the customer. So one of the coolest things that I found right now is this food grade stainless steel ice wine stone, whatever. Some of you guys may have seen it before. I personally haven't seen this before. This is the first time I'm seeing this item, and I just think it's simple, stupid. I get it. It's very straightforward. You want to put this into your drink so that it doesn't dilute your drink. Simple as that. Nobody drinks beer on the rocks, but now you can. You don't need a frosty mug anymore. You could just go ahead and drop a couple of these things in. So let's look at the market value differences over here. So I didn't like this listing very much because if I were to show you it, it's very unclear exactly what the pricing is. So let me not work with this thing. Now, this one says $15.99 for this particular kit. So he has a whole setup over here where you get 8 cubes and this little pair of mini tongs. I don't know if this is really necessary, but whatever. The point is that I think 8 cubes is a pretty good setup. 6 is a little low. 2 is like kind of just for funsies. You put it in 1 rock glass at best, and then you're done. So I think 8 is a pretty good amount. So I went to go ahead and find this on Temu, and I found this listing over here, which if I had to compare these two, I would say it's pretty much the same item. Okay, so let's talk about this for a little bit. This item for 8 pieces and the ice box and the metal tongs over here, right? Versus this one, the tongs are a little bit different. This one actually looks like there's silicone tip, and then this one just looks like all metal. But anyways, the point is that this is $7.76 and this is $15.99. So clearly this is a very small item, and to ship it, I would say it's something like $4.50 on average in order to ship this thing anywhere around the United States. So the question is, how much margins is in here? I'm going to right away just agree with you guys. Yeah, there's not that much margins to be made. If you were to take this item from Temu and just go ahead and spend like $7.76 times 20, you're talking about like 150-ish, a little over 150, slightly under 160 in order to do this item, to get 20 units of it, to try and put it onto your eBay account to see if you can prove anything, if you could establish that pipeline of supplier to a sales channel. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to research this guy first, right? We could see that he has 206 sold. I really like listings like this because they're so easy to read. He's just got that one item. There's 5 people interested in it in their carts. There's got 206 sold. Let's find out a little bit more about their history. So I don't know if you research other sellers like this, but I'm going to show you that down here on the about this item, because of the nature of this type of business, we're not doing these one-off items. I'm not researching or comparing myself to other resellers. I'm comparing myself to other established business because that's where I'm trying to be. The way that you do business is that you want to revise your listing of a replenishable item all the time, because once you sell out, you have to revise exactly the quantity, and then you have to re-up the item. So therefore, there's going to be this button here of review all revisions, right? So we're going to look at his revisions, and then we get to see when he started this item, which is really not that long ago. And then he's been doing it this whole time, and he's updated the quantity, updated the quantity, updated the quantity. So not bad. He's been moving some, right? But the question is, can we do better than this guy? Can you beat this guy up? I'll show you exactly what his problem is. eBay now allows you to do videos in your listing. And I feel as if, like, look, an picture like this, okay, where he's got the drink pouring into the glass. It's a still image over here. It's a good lifestyle shot, and it induces some emotional response from me. But it wouldn't be as emotional as an actual video, would it? So I think that doing a video would definitely beef this up more. The next thing is that if I scroll down over here and then you take a good look at his product description, I should zoom in for you guys. I'm very sorry about that. So when we zoom into his product description over here, look at it. It's so basic. It's so basic. It's not even funny, right? Okay. So definitely, I think we could do a better description than he can. We could do just as good photos as he can, because when we look at our item over here, right, we have good photos that we could use as well. And we could bring it over here to try it as well, right? So we don't have to go ahead and do anything too professional at first. If we can make some sales based on these stock images alone, doing a listing just like his, we don't have to beat up his price by much. I would say just stick with, like, the $15.99 or maybe $15.45, something like that. Okay. Just to be a little cheeky about it, but not beat his item up too much so that he doesn't react to it. And then let's just see where it goes from here. If it starts to do well, then we'll transfer this over to a different supplier where we could bring this item in for much lower than $7.76. Also, by the time that we do this item after we've promoted it for a while, we remove our promotion so that we're running on organic traffic. So we get our money back from doing the ads, and we get our money back from selling from Temu and switching it over to a much cheaper supplier. And that's where the equity is actually going to come in. So I'm going to do this again with another item. So normally I jump on Temu and then I put in, different things like bulk or wholesale, and I see what I come up with. Another item that I found is this one. This one says 6,000 labels, and all it is these thermal labels, 4x6. You guys have probably seen this all over the place. And what I love about this thing is that you don't have to deal with any ink or whatever because it's for thermal printing. So this thing says 5865. Right. Now, if we hopped over to eBay over here, one of the first ones that I find that's doing pretty decent, because we want to work with listings that are doing well, right? So when I open this one over here, we see that this says 175 sold. So this guy is a legit vendor on eBay selling this stuff. The question is now, what are we selling? How are we selling it? So if you look over here, he has the direct folding version and he has the roll version. And what I love about eBay is that it literally gives you all the information you need. The folding one is the most popular one, not the roller one. So we definitely want to do this product and not the rolled version. So what are you selling this at? $27.69 for a roll of 500 labels. This is 6,000 labels at $60. So if we do the math over here, okay, and we're able to chop this up, if we divide 500 into 6,000, you're talking about 12 orders. So 12 orders, if we divide 12 orders into $60, you're talking about under $5 to get this thing made. So if we do the math, what is it, like 490, 488, 490 for this one? So you pay under $5 for this, and then you make a listing like this, and then it's $27.69 each for 500. So I would just divvy this up into 12 units, right? And then I would sell the 500 just like him. And I don't have to beat up his price by much. I'll just make it 27 even, I'll just make it 27.50. I'm really not trying to destroy the market here. I just want to see if I could do something with a small jab. So what is my initial investment here? On Temu, it specifically says that if your item is $30 or more, then you get free shipping. And that's what I love about this. So I get to pay exactly this price. I get it for free shipping to my door. I get 6,000 labels. I'm going to divvy it up into 500 units each, right? 500 sheets into 12 units. And then I'm going to put it on eBay and then see how it does. If it does well, if we're rolling with this thing, then guess what? My next move is that I'm going to contact a sourcing agent and tell them to go find me something like this. I'll probably even save a couple of labels because different labels are probably different quality. Some jam, some don't. There's a lot of things to possibly consider in this. So what I would do is that I'd make sure that my sourcing agent also gets a couple of samples, and therefore she could go ahead and find me the best factories out there and see if we could compete for different prices and stuff to lower this even further. So if I could bring this down to even lower amount, I'm going to make even more money on it. And then I'm going to promote this listing. Once this thing snowballs and gets more traffic, look, we don't have to stop with eBay, but we have to start at least with eBay. So once it's on eBay, then you could move it on to other platforms, Walmart, Amazon, and start blowing up your business. And that is what I'm talking about. Now, the next thing that I want to show you guys is the infamous Alibaba.com. So when we talk about Alibaba.com, right, I want to show you guys something really interesting, which is when we're talking about like the printers and stuff, right? There's a lot of guys out here who are doing different kinds of printer stores. So if I click see other items, yeah, he's got all sorts of interesting items like this for me to consider. So he's got like this, the label printer and how much this goes for. And then, I could learn a lot from the positioning of the seller. So even though I found myself one really cool item over here where there's some money to be made, what I really want to do is just jump through the store and then see what else that he's selling to see how much more pages of his playbook that I could take from, I could alter myself, I could innovate from, and then possibly put together a better business. So one of the things here is that if you sell these labels, most likely you probably want to sell like a thermal printer as well. So if I went over here and then we did something like 4x6 and then a thermal printer, let's see what we got. Okay, so we have a lot of selections over here so that for us to also bring in a thermal printer. Look at this. This is $39 to $48. I'm pretty sure it's like $40 for the basic one and then $50 for the Bluetooth version, right? Yeah, see, so Bluetooth plus USB or just regular USB. Yeah, I'm right. Okay, so here's something that I thought was super interesting to share with you guys. Did you know that for a lot of these items out there, you could search the supplier by country or the region as well? Now, they have things that were they previously exported to the United States, but they also have certain companies out here that are specifically in the United States as well. I'll show you what I mean in a second. I think I found it here last time where I did thermal printer. And then when I scroll down over here, see supplier or country and region, there's United States. So let's tick that and let's see what happens. So there you go. Okay. So I found this company over here that's doing this. And let me open up a new over here and then see what's going on. Okay. So Woad Industry LLC, they've all been around for 2 years. Now, generally people will always tell you if the Alibaba company hasn't been around for 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, then probably don't deal with them. But this one is domestic. So if anything, if you're really serious about this, you could go visit them yourself, right? You could take, if you're close, you could take a Greyhound. If you're a little further away, then I guess you get on a Spirit Airlines or something, keep it really cheap, you know? And then let's go visit this guy and then see what's going on. So when I look through his information over here, right, we can see that, let me see, Woad Industry. Let's click on this. And where are you? He's in Wyoming, guys. So we can go ahead and source items through Alibaba, even in the US market. And what's good about this is that now you could probably take a shot and call these people up and deal with them directly yourself, as opposed to going through a sourcing agent, because there's no language barrier for you guys. We're all Americans. Now, when you're dealing with the other items that you want to purchase that may not be from the United States, whether it's from China, Malaysia, or Vietnam, or other places, India, then you might want to hire a sourcing agent in order to help you with everything. Now, the reason why I recommend sourcing agents, okay, is very simple. When you're dealing with the factory directly, you guys are sitting on opposite sides of the table, right? You're sitting on your side of the table, the factory's sitting on the other side of the table. So what does that mean? That means that you guys have opposing interests, right? But if you hire a sourcing agent is sitting on your side of the table. So their interest aligns with you and you only deal with them. The only thing that they want is for the deal to go through to your satisfaction. And that's why hiring a sourcing agent is such a good idea, because they'll handle all the stuff for you, the logistics, they'll explain everything to you, especially if you're just upfront with them and tell them that you're a brand new business owner and I need help with this. But don't just settle for one guy. Definitely jump around, shop around with your sourcing agents and stuff. So for the sourcing agent, I guess we could go to either Upwork over here, or we can go to Fiverr as well. So if we jump on Fiverr and then we look at maybe a sourcing agent, there you go, right? We have plenty of sourcing agents right here. I do not want to sign in, right? So you have sourcing agents that is from China, India, everywhere, okay, to help you get your stuff. So the key takeaway is to understand that nobody can source at 100% every single time. There's no amount of preparation or studying that's going to prepare you for something like that, where you're just going to guess correctly for every single item, every single time. So to go out in the world and source 100 different items, bring them home and expect them all to sell is just unrealistic. So what is the solution to this problem? It's about success retention. For the times that we do have hits, how do we repeat that process over and over so that the times that we try something is very low, but the times that we have our success is very high? That way we end up coming out on top always. That way we stay lucrative always, as opposed to just going out and constantly trying new things and always stuck in that trial and error phase. Now, I understand that every single time we do one of these videos, there's going to be a lot of questions below, and I'll do my best to get through all of them in the comments. However, please keep in mind that not everything in business can be answered in just one video. So to combat that, we have done our free course over here that you could check out in our playlist. Go watch that and it'll explain all of the fundamentals that we teach right here on this channel, and it will answer a lot of your questions for us to move forward. So anyways, guys, if you guys like this video, please let me know in the comments and we will do a series of them. We'll drop more and more because I think that these examples of how to source items from one market over to another and then building it into a full scalable pipeline into a real lucrative business is very helpful to everybody. It's certainly better than doing a BOHO list where you're just talking about like one particular item to look out for, as opposed to something that we can have repeated success over time. Anyways, guys, that is the video. As always, if you learned something, please consider subscribing. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next. Take care, y'all.